I have at last finished Hyperion. And my first thoughts coming out of it, like once I got to the ending, really is just, you just completely it up. But I should hasten to add that those comments are not to Dan Simmons, the writer, who unfortunately passed away recently. This book is beautifully written. It is a poetic take on something like the Canterbury Tales, but in space. It's beautifully told. It really creates a world that is fascinating. So, why did I get so mad when I got to the end of this book? There are 7 pilgrims on their way with an audience to the Church of the Shrike, which is a very mysterious church that is dedicated to this being that is something out of a death metal cover. It's covered in blades and has evil red eyes. And throughout this very dangerous pilgrimage, because Hyperion is basically on the edge of war, really, by the time I got really into this book, I was really loving what it was saying. It's very anti-colonialist. There are some really fascinating things it brings up. The problem is, this is not a book. It is half a book. This is not marketed in this hideous baby poo brown, baby's first Adobe Illustrator cover. I really hate this cover. I've hated it since the moment I picked it up, but I just didn't have an option. But this is not marketed as one half of a book. And it's not even like the first book in the series. It was literally half of a book. The publishers decided they didn't want to do the whole book in one. They cut it in half and they printed it as Hyperion. Now, I guess I'm to the point where I just have to do more research on books. So that is on me. I kind of rely on the cover, and there's nothing about this cover that tells you any kind of sense that it is only one half of a book. And in fact, the second half of the book, The Fall of Hyperion, you cannot even get in this sort of matching style, which is sort of probably a blessing, to be honest, because this is a hideous sub-Canva piece of crap. But the fact that they didn't even make a matching volume makes me think that the publishers basically just want you to think that this is a book that you can read as a standalone and you'll be fine. But it is not. It is half the story. Where it ends, it was one of the few things I actually didn't particularly care for in the book. There's a sudden pop culture reference that creeps in that I think at one point of time when this was first written, maybe it wouldn't have felt quite as just sort of, but for me, it just didn't work. It was a little silly. I didn't love it. There's so much rich, beautiful stuff in this book. It makes me mad that it's only half of the book. And I didn't know that going in.